Alright everyone, it is Justin here. I am back with another video, and on today's video we'll be talking about cruise number 5 and how did we go from this to this. I will explain right after this. Alright everyone, welcome back to Just Justin. I am Justin, and on today's video we'll be talking about cruise number 5. This was happened in 2018, right after my son graduated from high school. We decided to go on a cruise. Where do we go? So where do we go? We went to Alaska aboard the Ruby Princess. Yeah, it actually says Ruby, and like the Carnival ship I have. But yeah, Ruby Princess. We went there right after my son graduated from high school, right before the summers, and both my kids go separate ways. You know how it goes. But we had a little tragedy come right before the cruise. So let's jump into that, and then we'll jump into the cruise. So it started out as a typical day. Thursday, my son graduated from high school. Yay! He was all happy and excited. So come midnight on Thursday night, he calls us up and he's in lots of pain. So they come to the house and they get an ankle brace. He thought maybe he hurt his ankle, but he was still in lots of pain the next morning when he got home from his all-night party. And we took him to the doctors, and he ended up breaking his right foot. He broke his left foot 2 years before this, and now he broke his right foot. And so the doctor said we can get him to surgery on Tuesday. And we're like, we won't be here on Tuesday. We'll be in Alaska. He's like, okay, here's a boot. You can't move it. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. She already did. And then as soon as you guys get back, we'll get him into surgery and get this taken care of. So we got a boot. We got him home. We got him his crutches. They were still in the garage. And then we frantically packed for him because, of course, he never packed. And our flight was taken off at, I think it was 2 o'clock. And so we went to a medical supply place to rent a scooter. They didn't have any to rent, but we could buy one for $250 or so bucks. So we bought it. We just bought it. And we went there, then we had to go to Ross to get him a new pair of shoes. So he could, I don't know why we needed a new pair of shoes. Probably because we couldn't find any of his shoes because his room was a pigsty. Yeah. So we got to the airport right as my sisters were pulling in to the airport and parking. And their flight took off an hour after we did. Yeah, it was just a nightmare just to get there. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of the cruise. But let's jump into the cruise and then we'll talk about it later. All right, so we have made it to May 24th of 2018, day 0. Okay, my son graduated from high school. Great day for him. As we've seen in the intro, he went from a happy person to not such a happy person on a scooter. Yeah, this all happened within 12 hours. He came home, thought he sprained his ankle, ended up breaking his foot. We ended up packing, getting to the airport, getting a scooter, getting all this fun stuff. And getting on the plane last, they almost didn't let me on the plane because I had more than one carry-on. Well, no kidding, I had more than one. I had mine, I had my backpack, and I had my son's. We arrive in Seattle, and this is where the shuttle picked us up at. We went to a Seattle Mariners baseball game. My sisters and I all went. That was their first time going to a game. I think they had pretty much a good time. We went to, Safeco Field. Of course, that's where it is. We rode the train up, and then we walked from the train back to the hotel, which wasn't too bad. And it was a nice day for a baseball game. I've always wanted to do that, go to Safeco Field and watch a game. And here is my son right here, the oldest one, and then my niece as well. She's hung back with us when her family left to go back, and she had a pretty good time. All right, so May 26th, a Saturday, day one. Here is the breakfast station at the hotel we stayed at. To be honest with you, I cannot remember what the hotel was, but we've stayed there before. They had a lot of different options. And, that's what breakfast hotels should have available, is a good continental breakfast. Not really a continental, but like a hot service, like with waffles and eggs and stuff like that, instead of just like a bagel. I love the orange juice. I would get that all the time. And then here's the room. We stayed in room, I do believe it's 322. And then we were off to the cruise port. So this is a different picture. This is the cruise port when we went in 2018. And if you go back to the 2015, that cruise port was crowded. We were on the ship within 15 minutes. Yeah, we were there right as check-in. Oh, that was the best check-in I've ever had. Aboard the Ruby Princess. And we set sail. We didn't have any problems this time. No emergencies or anything like that. We just set sail and we had some good dinner that night. And you could get stuff off the grill if you want. You had to pay extra for that. But yeah, that was the first day. We went from our hotel to an empty cruise terminal to the ship, and then we had dinner. I didn't get the lunch and stuff like that. I know I need to become better. But some of these Princess favorites right here for the desserts, that was really super good. I would recommend getting that. Anytime you get on here. Yeah, ice cream. We had ice cream all the time. They had a wide variety of ice creams and sherbets. Oh, it was really super good. I recommend getting desserts anytime you can. Those are usually the best part of dinner. Unless it's lobster. But yeah, desserts are really super good. So, that sums it up for day one. Here is an overview. Alright, we are in Emerald 731. It's on the back of the ship. We walk in, and we'll go in here. Here's a closet. Okay. There's the safe. Here's the bathroom. Kids are already out asleep. It's been a rough day for them. Yeah, we got one TV here. We got the fridge right there. We have the other TV here. Here's the couch area. We have the chair and table that we pushed out so we have more room. There's the bed that comes down. We're going to step outside to the balcony. We got the extended balcony here. It curves all the way around. It's gonna...
7 years later, about 80 years later, we have Regenberg, we have Oswald.
There's an adjoining door right there. The only problem is, we're a cabin of 4. It's only got 2 chairs in it. That's only one problem here. And so, that's the stateroom with the mini suite with the balcony. Alright, so May 27th was our second day aboard the ship. I guess it's our first full day aboard the ship. It was a sea day. There was a pub lunch that you could go to. I love the pub lunch on the Princess ships. Oh, you can get some good food. Here's, barbecue. Here's some menus. I didn't really do a lot of videotaping or pictures on this day. It was kind of a relaxing day and just, to hang out and get to know the ship. So this is the day in Juneau. Here is Mendenhall Glacier. We went there. It was cool. We went and saw the glacier. There's me, of course. You gotta have a picture of me. There's the glacier in the background. Here's the beautiful skyline of the glacier. Look at that. That looks so awesome. It was a rainy day in Juneau. But yeah, it was the end of May. There is Tegan, Wrecker, and Megan all here at the glacier. There's me on the left. So Nugget Falls Trail is a trail you could take all the way down to the glacier if you want. And that's where these pictures were taken from. Look at that. Beautiful waterfall. There is Michelle, Wrecker, and Tegan. And look at that. It's a good spot for the glacier. About as close as you can get. There's Wrecker on his scooter. He took his scooter down there like a champ. And here we have a bald eagle. And yes, it was in a cage. You can just see it. And here is the bald eagle is at the top of a tram that you could take up. And this is what's looking into Juneau. That was a cool thing to do. Snow-capped mountains still in Alaska. And then there's me and the ship behind. You know, you have to have pictures of me throughout the video, right? And then there's a come back new option here. And now let's look at the overview. All right, so May 29th is the next stop is in Sagway. We had breakfast, of course, and then we got off the ship. Riker was supposed to go kayaking on the water, but he broke his foot and he couldn't go, so he had to spend the day with us. I know, boring, right? And what we did was we just walked around Sagway to see the different shops and just to take in the town. There's Riker and Michelle enjoying the boardwalk there in Sagway. Here's the district, how it looks. And then in Sagway, they had a Christmas shop, Alaska Christmas store. That was kind of cool to go into. I really liked that. And then just a look of downtown Sagway here. I know, it's really super busy, but it's a great place to visit. Here's the view of us sailing out of Sagway. And let's go ahead and take a look at the overview. All right, so Glacier Bay. We took a cruise and going down Glacier Bay. So this picture right here is taken at night. Okay, not in the morning and anything like that. That was taken at night. And here it is in the morning time again. Here is Glacier Bay. They have some awesome views here. If you ever get to go to Alaska on a cruise, make sure you hit one of these bays. Either the Tracy Arm or the Glacier Bay cruise days. Because you cruise down and you can see these glaciers, but you can see the beauty around these coves. I mean, we got floating ice all over the place. You have to be careful not to hit the big ones. And here's the glacier right here. And the ship, you know, we spent the time in our cabin, well, on the balcony of our cabin. The whole group of us, because we had a big balcony, and we were able to watch all day long We sailed from like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the bay. It was kind of cool. See, here we are right there, just hanging out and watching it. It was cold, yes. I've done June and I've done May. Now I need to do July to see how warm that is there. But you always have to hit up the International Cafe. If you're on a Princess ship that has one, you have to hit it up. Oh, some great food. And of course, this is on the buffet right here. Oh, that looks so good. And then we have some dessert selections. Of course, I have to throw that in there. So I love me some desserts. And here's a picture of just the nighttime in Glacier Bay as we're heading out. And then let's go take a look at the overview. Ketchikan, Alaska. We didn't get there until about noon. And then we hit up a logging show called the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. And there's quite a bit of lumberjacking going on in Alaska. And these right here are just showing the skills that they have, what they need to do, how fast they can cut, how good they can climb, and how good they can chop things. Because that is a skill that you need up in Alaska. And plus the show is entertaining. It's worth it. We didn't catch it last time when we were here. We just walked around the port because it was raining. And this is an outside show, and we just didn't want to get rained on. But since it was nice and sunny outside, we decided to go to it. It was quite fun. So right here, they were showing us how fast they can climb up a pole. Now they can do that. I would hate to do this next thing because if I slip and fall, that could mean painful stuff. But there is a view of Ketchikan from the ship. And then here's a good shot of the ship from the port. Yeah, we got the room back there on the bottom left-hand corner. So this fish is just sitting there in Ketchikan. I don't know why. I can't remember. But there's this house in Ketchikan that, well, you can read what that what that means. It was there when Gold Rush was in full boom. There's a totem pole. Then here is some dinner menus for you. Of course, you know, you have to eat on a cruise ship. And yeah, it's always good eating. To me it is anyway. Some people might have a difference of an opinion, but that's them. So let's take a look at the overview. Victoria, British Columbia. Here's a look at what the tourist district looks like. There's a lot of people out walking around, seeing the different shops and things like that. Oh, of course, they have a 7-Eleven there. They don't do conversion very well, but oh well. Here's the boys and a bear outside of a shirt. And then here is the boys on a bus, as we took a bus to down to where we needed to go. And there's the Canada sign, like, welcome to Canada, as we got off the ship. And we went out to a lighthouse right here, because that's what the wife wanted to do, and so we went out there and to see it. We didn't do it last time, so we might as well do it this time. Here's a picture of us just enjoying the boardwalk at night, seeing Victoria in the background. Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful view of Victoria. I was just mainly worried about the tourist areas of Victoria, but we saw some different things this time. There's me, of course, right there at, I think that's the Parliament building. And then we're back at the ship. There is no overview for today for some reason. I don't know if I couldn't find it or not. But we're just going to jump back into June 2nd. We're back in Seattle. Here is a picture of us on our balcony that Saturday morning. There's the way the beds looked at night. The bed came down and made it nice. There's my finger right there. Don't mind that. There's our big balcony. Here's a view of another look of the big balcony. And coming up here is another view of the bed arrangements for my kids. And then we had breakfast. The last breakfast on the ship. That's not very nice. And then there's a picture of us as we're waiting for the shuttle to come back and pick us up so we could head back to our hotel. We decided to stay an extra day in Seattle instead of heading back to the airport. Right after this, we decided to stay here. And this is a picture of us just touring the city of Seattle. We're going down to the public market there. It was a good tourist place. I mean, saw lots of things, saw what Seattle's all about. We ate this at this market diner. Yeah, it wasn't as good as the Princess ship because we actually had to pay for it. It's not very nice. Here we are up in the Space Needle. They were doing construction on the Space Needle, but we were able to go up there and overlook the city of Seattle. Yeah, it is a beautiful place. If you ever get there, you go there. I'll just leave it at that. Now here's a different view of what Seattle looks like. There's a cruise ship right there. Again, this is up on the top of the Space Needle. We went back to the airport after the Space Needle and rented a car so we could tour around the city a little bit more. My wife wanted to see some different things. But the Seattle monorail right here, I got an interesting story about that. I can't tell it right now, but it's an interesting story. And there's this one we saw underneath the bridge. There's this park right here. Not 10 Things I Hate About You. I cannot remember what that show I wanted to. I'm thinking of, but yeah, they filmed it here, there at that park. And then there's Hard Rock Cafe. You have to go to Hard Rock. I mean, come on. All right, and that about sums that day up with a good view of the Seattle LDS Temple.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the cruise to Alaska aboard the Ruby. Yeah, the Ruby Princess. And yes, I'm glad we had that big mini suite
It did cost some money, but I'm glad we had that mini suite. And so what we did is that mini suite, we had a huge balcony. We had enough room in there for his scooter, his crutches, and his big chip on his shoulder. But it was a fun time. He was down for the rest of the summer, so he couldn't get a job. And then 2 days before he left on his mission, the doctor said he can go. So, yeah, that was our 5th cruise to Alaska. Come back next week and we'll talk about number 6. Until then, you guys, we'll see you